Worshipping the wrong things, people, definitely draws us away from Christ. I used to worship my feelings, especially holding on to anger and jealousy and envy and some of those things. And some of them actually were not even feelings, they were actually spirit, like the spirit of jealousy and envy. And so I used to be that. I used to have all of that going on the inside of me due to what I knew growing up. I grew up a Christian in a Christian household, but there were so many things that I experienced in terms of abuse that it really changed the psyche in my mind. It changed something in me. And so I would worship my stance that I am right and everybody's wrong. I would worship this critiquing of people. I would worship the judgment of people. I would worship so many things except for my Creator. Idolatry just so happens to be the one thing God's people have struggled with. We struggle with it. It is easy for us as human beings to lean into idolatry without even know that we are leaning into idolatry. Worshiping something is not just what we do in churches today where we sing praises and all that. Majority of worship, the word of God says, is in our body. We worship with our body. And so when you think about your body as a child of God, what are some of the ways in which you worship God with your body? Some of us are worshiping food without even knowing that we're worshiping food. Some of us are worshiping the pleasure of things without even knowing that we're worshiping it. It's not literally you singing or you praising or you praying that denotes as worship. Worship is your time and dedication and attention that you give to something. And sometimes we give our time and attention in our thoughts to things and to people that are not in any way we are not supposed to. We are not supposed to, but we do. We do. And we are human. I mean, when I talked about me worshiping my feelings and all that, I remember those days. I just wanted to feed my flesh, and I fed my flesh a lot of the things that it needed, which was just the ability for me to feel like I am right and someone is wrong, not feeling rejected. And so I'll put up walls to protect myself, but then I'm caging myself in. Idolatry is very hard to break. It is. It is very hard to break. And we can easily fall victims to worshiping people and things. How does this look like? Overindulgence is one of them. We overindulge. How many minutes or hours do we spend scrolling social media? I have been a victim of that. And sometimes, before you know it, time has passed and you've been doing that. Overindulgence. Overthinking. Oh my goodness. Overthinking is another way in which we can produce idols. We can worship things. Overthinking about somebody or something, overthinking about a problem, overthinking about an issue, overthinking about how to get back at somebody, overthinking. You think and think and think and think. And the one person that we are supposed to think about, we don't think about often. Doing things in excess, or eating in excess, or producing in excess, or stuff that is in excess, to the point where you are knocking on the doors of greed. And sometimes it is just pure greed. Greed does not come only in the form of money. Greed can come in the form of gluttony. Greed can come in the form of somebody hoarding things, hoarding. And we can do that. Overindulgence, overthinking, excessive consumption of things, excessive attention to things and people. These are the ways in which we easily fall victims to idolatry. That challenge that you have right now, that storm that you are in, that battle, whatever it is, that trial, temptation, tribulation, all that you are in today, I need you to hear me out and tell yourself, God, I need you to speak to my storm. Calm my storm. I want to stay in this peaceful place. Calm this. Quiet. Be still. In some versions it says, peace, be still. Peace, be still. That is our stance, dear sister, dear brother. You must have peace in the midst of anything that's going on. Peace. Like how Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego walked through their struggle. Peace. Like how when Daniel, there was all that was going on, he still peacefully did what he was supposed to do. Peace. You must remember your wonderful counselor, your mighty God, your everlasting Father, your Prince of Peace. Say it with me. My wonderful counselor. Jesus is my wonderful counselor. Jesus is my mighty God. Jesus is my everlasting Father. Jesus is my Prince of Peace. You must remember God as He is. Anything that's going on, as an overcomer, you cannot worship your problems. You cannot worship your challenges. You cannot worship your storms. You cannot worship your feelings. You cannot worship your emotions. You cannot worship people who you believe or who you think can help you. You cannot worship anybody, anything, anyone else other than God. To experience the kingdom that the Lord said is of righteousness, of peace. God's kingdom is of peace. To experience any of the Prince of Peace dwelling inside of you, incarnated in you, consumed by every part of you, consumed in every part of you. To experience any of those things, we have got to figure out what we worship that's more than God, where we have put our focus more than God. Dr. Tim Keller says, if you want to change deeply, change who you worship. If you want to change deeply, change who you worship. Never forget that statement.